Hi, we are now going to learn how to convert repeating decimals to fractions. And there's a simple formula to this. As you can see, you have dn times f minus nrp divided by d. All right. So dn is the decimal number. So here's my decimal number. Okay. F, because I am trying to remove that decimal, move it based on how many numbers are repeating. So I multiply it. If one is repeating, I will multiply times 10. Here's another number. If two are repeating, that's why I put two examples here. So this, if there are two numbers repeating, I will multiply with 100. If there are three numbers repeating, I will multiply with 1000, and so on, based on how many numbers are repeating. Then I subtract the non-repeating part from it. So in this case, the non-repeating part is just 1/10. Okay, but in this case, there is no non-repeating part, so I would have to subtract 0. Okay, and then I divide it by d. And so if there's one repeating part of a fraction or one repeating number, I am going to do write 9. So I'm going to divide it by 9. If there are two numbers that are repeating, I will replace that with 99. If there are three numbers repeating, I will replace that d with 999, and so on. Okay, so let's start with the first example. Using this formula, it is pretty simple actually. So all I'm doing is taking the decimal number. Okay, so the decimal number. So I'm just using the same formula. I'm just going to substitute the values in there now. Okay, so I had said that my formula is dn times f minus non-repeating part divided by d. So this is my formula. Okay, so I am just going to substitute values now, and I can see that my decimal number is 1300. All right, and then since only one number is repeating, I am going to do times 10. Okay, minus my non-repeating part is this part. Okay, so minus 1/10. Okay, and then I am going to divide it by d. Since only one number is repeating, I am going to divide it by 9. And then after this, all I do is I simplify. Okay, if I multiply 1300 by 10, I know that this is going to go 1 here, right? So therefore, this is going to become 1 3/10 minus 1/10 divided by 9. Okay, and 1 3/10 minus 1/10, I am going to get 1 2/10 divided by 9. Okay, 1 2/10 divided by 9. And in order for me to get rid of the decimal in 1 2/10, all I'm doing is multiplying the numerator and the denominator with 10. So I am going to do this. I'm going to move the decimal one place to the right. Whatever I do to the numerator, I have got to do exactly the same thing to the denominator. So since there's nothing here, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to insert a 0. And my fraction now is going to be 12 over 90. And then all I need to do is put this in the simplest form. And, so I find the greatest common factor. And when I'm going to simplify this, I am going to get 2/15 as my decimal in the simplest form. Okay, so all I could have done is, like, I'm just showing you how to do the greatest common factor. I had done 12 and 90. I know both of them are even numbers, so they are divisible by 2. Okay, so I would get 6, and I know this is going to be 45. And then knowing my divisibility rules, I know that 45 is divisible by 3 because you add up the digits, which is 4 plus 5, which gives me 9, and 9 is divisible by 3. All right, so I could have done this. I could have done divided by 3, and I get 2 here, and I get 15 here. So this is my simplest form, and this is my greatest common factor, which is 6. So basically, I divided this by 6, and I divided this by 6, and I got 2/15 as my fraction in the simplest form. All right, so that is this one where there's one repeating number. Now let's try one where there are two numbers or two digits that are repeating. Okay, and we are going to convert this also to a fraction in simplest form. All right, so I'm going to keep the formula here, and all I'm doing is substituting the values. Okay. So now we are taking this number. All right, 7200. The repeating, both the numbers are, both the digits are repeating over here. So I'm going to substitute it here. My decimal number here is 7200. Okay, times, since there are two numbers repeating, I am now going to multiply with 100 times 100 minus, as you can see, I do not have any non-repeating part of the decimal. So it's going to be minus 0. All right. And since there are two numbers repeating, I am going to have my D as 99. All right. So I'm going to have my D as 99. And then if I'm multiplying 7200 times 100, basically the decimal is going to move 2 places to the right. So this becomes 72 over 99 because there's nothing to subtract from there. And then I'm just going to simplify. I know that both these numbers are divisible by 9 because I'm putting it in simplest form. All right, so I am going to simplify by dividing by 9, and my fraction in simplest form is going to be 8/11. All right, so doesn't matter which repeating number you have based on this formula. All you have to do is plug in the values, and it is simple to just convert it to a fraction in the simplest form. All right, have a nice day.